Good evening, my name is Stephanie Carrasco, and today we'll be going over Erikson's theories on psychosocial development. Before we begin, I'd like you to take a look at a few questions that I prepared for you, and just think about the age at which you answered the questions or the age at which you expect to answer these questions. Please take a few moments to read these questions and answer them on your own sheet of paper. If you need more time, press pause. As we proceed, we will discover that according to psychologist Erikson, there are age ranges during which our personalities develop as we experience crises that will determine when we answer those questions. Some questions that will guide us as we explore this topic are as follows. What changes occur in personality over time and why do they occur? What makes us sense who we are? Is it possible to capture the many aspects of personality development within a single theory? To begin with, Erikson's theory of psychosocial development was originally considered revolutionary because it traces development all the way through adulthood instead of stopping at adolescence. The theory comprises 8 stages. Those who successfully complete the stages go on to develop the virtues of hope, will, purpose, competence, fidelity, love, care, and wisdom. The stages are described in terms of alternative traits that are potential outcomes from the crises. Development is enhanced when a crisis is resolved in favor of the healthier alternative, which is listed first for each stage. As we study each of the stages, we will discuss the psychosocial crisis, the approximate age of development, the virtue that is acquired, the existential question that is answered, the significant relationship that develops as a result, and examples of what is experienced. Stage 1. Trust versus mistrust. On the basis of their experience, infants learn either to trust or to mistrust that their needs will be met. They come to view the world as either basically friendly or basically hostile. Successful passage through this stage leads to the development of a hopeful attitude through life. This is usually accomplished through the care and involvement of the mother. Erikson's second stage unfolds during the first and third years of life, when parents begin toilet training and other efforts to regulate the child's behavior. The child must begin to take some personal responsibility for feeding, dressing, and bathing. If all goes well, he or she acquires a sense of self-sufficiency. But if parents are never satisfied with the child's efforts and there are constant parent-child conflicts, the child may develop a sense of personal shame and self-doubt. In Erikson's third stage, lasting roughly from ages 3 to 6, children experiment and take initiatives that may sometimes conflict with their parents' rules. Over-controlling parents may begin to instill feelings of guilt, and self-esteem may suffer. Parents need to support their children's emerging independence while maintaining appropriate controls. In the ideal situation, children will retain their sense of initiative while learning to respect the rights and privileges of other family members. Children must develop a sense of capability. Those who do not develop this sense feel incompetent and have low self-worth. They may feel unable to do much of anything well. The child who successfully passes through this stage develops a sense of competence. Children who are able to function effectively in this less nurturant social sphere, where productivity is highly valued, should learn to value achievement and take pride in accomplishment, resulting in a sense of competence. Adolescents try to figure out who they are, what they value, and who they will grow up to become. They try to integrate intellectual, social, sexual, ethical, and other aspects of themselves into a unified self-identity. Those who succeed develop a sense of fidelity to themselves. Those who do not remain confused about who they are and what to do with their lives. In early adulthood, the key concern is whether one can develop the capacity to share intimacy with others. Successful resolution of the challenges in this stage should promote empathy and openness, rather than shrewdness and manipulativeness. Young adults usually try to commit themselves to loving, intimate relationships. The person who succeeds learns how to love in a giving and unselfish way. The person who fails develops a sense of isolation and may fail to connect intimately with significant others. In middle adulthood, the key challenge is to acquire a genuine concern for the welfare of future generations, which results in providing unselfish guidance to younger people and concern with one's legacy. self-absorption is characterized by self-indulgent concerns and with meeting one's own needs and desires. Adults try to contribute to the next generation through ideas, products, or child raising, singly or together. Such productivity is termed generativity. Adults who do not pass through this stage become stagnant and probably self-centered as well. Their lives leave no lasting mark. During the retirement years, the challenge is to avoid the tendency to dwell on the mistakes of the past and on one's imminent death. People need to find meaning and satisfaction in their lives rather than wallow in bitterness and resentment. We try to make sense of our lives and of our choices. When the elderly do not feel as though a particular important decision was right, they must come to terms with their mistake. Adults who succeed in this stage gain the wisdom of old age. Adults who fail may feel a sense of despair. Before we conclude, let's do a review of the stages of psychosocial development. Erikson's theory posits that people evolve through 8 stages over the lifespan. Each stage is marked by a psychosocial crisis that involves confronting a fundamental question, such as, who am I and where am I going? The stages are described in terms of alternative traits that are potential outcomes from the crises. Development is enhanced when a crisis is resolved in favor of the healthier alternative, which is listed first for each stage. Do Erikson's stages actually exist? It is hard to say. No one has yet proposed a test that would clearly disconfirm the model. Certainly, many people experience conflicts at the ages Erikson specified. Whether these conflicts are their primary ones is an open question. One drawback is that the theory does not address cultural generality. For example, are the intimate relationships so prized in our early adulthood characteristic of everyone's life? If we cannot accept past mistakes, must we fall into permanent despair? No theory of psychosocial development can account for every person in every culture, but Erikson's theory does a commendable job of defining some of the major personal conflicts Westerners experience. I leave you with the questions presented at the beginning of the presentation. Thank you for your attention, and I hope these questions spur further discussion in the forum.